The number of bees are becoming fewer and fewer every year. You might be asking yourself, why is this happening and what can I do about it? Hello, my name is McCray Melton and today I'm going to share with you why bees are important to our community and our world and what you can do to make a difference. So we have 3 points that we're going to discuss, 3 questions. And the first one is, what do bees do? And the second part of that question is, what is killing the bees? Number 2, why should I care about bees? And number 3, what can I do? Like, how can I save the bees? So you might know a lot of this information already, but bear with me, you might learn something new. So we're going to go to our first question. What do bees do and what's killing them? So what do bees do? Well, they pollinate the plants so that produces food such as fruits and vegetables, and all the food that the bees produce is like 70% out of 100% of the food that we eat. And they also make honey and beeswax. The beeswax and the wax that they make the humans make them to make candles, lipstick, lotions, and soap. And the second part of the question is what's killing the bees? So what's killing the bees is pesticides, which is a chemical that is sprayed over all the plants to kill bugs. Well, the problem is it kills bees too. So even if you don't personally spray your own garden with pesticides, pesticides will spread over all plants because the city sprays them, which is a pretty scary thing because all those bees are being exposed to that. And so what you can do is cover your garden so that the pesticides don't get on them very, very easily. You can do it with blankets or a tarp, and those 2 things are really good. So let's move on to our second question, and that is, why should I care? Well, you should care because honey is great for allergies. So my brother Cameron has a cottonwood allergy, so he just takes a spoonful of our honey once a day, and it took care of it when the cotton season was around. I've been a beekeeper for 5 years now, and it has taught me a lot of great lessons, and it produces like great honey too. And it has its own taste. And if you aren't a beekeeper and want to have similar to help with allergies, I live in Texas, so I use the raw and unfiltered Texas honey, which is also good for allergies. Another reason why you should care about bees is that they basically have our whole food supply. Like 70% is produced through bees. And without bees, humans would only live for about 4 years, which is pretty scary. And now let's move on to our third point. What can I do to help bees? And so how you can help bees is to plant flowers that are bee friendly. Bees don't like things like roses because they can't see the color red. And they don't like plants like marigolds because they don't have a lot of pollen. They do like sunflowers, however, because they have a lot of pollen and they're really big. And there's this whole online site called, just one second, Fafard. I think that's done correctly. It has a whole list of flowers that you can plant in your garden. Another thing you can do is to protect swarms. What is a swarm? A swarm is when when the hive becomes too crowded, half of the hive will leave and go into like a tree or a bush. And whenever people say that, they're like, oh dear, there's a whole bunch of bees in my tree. What am I going to do? And so they're freaking out, and they're like they hit them, or they like spray them or something. And that's not what you should do. You should either leave them alone or get a beekeeper who knows what they're doing, who can collect the swarms to make another hive. Because otherwise you're just messing with trouble whenever you're trying to mess with a swarm. Usually they're gentle, but whenever you mess with them, they get aggressive. And so today I've told you about what bees do and what is killing them. And the second thing I've told you is, why should you care? And the third thing I've told you is, what can I do to help? And one more thing you can do to help is to become a beekeeper. So you can find a mentor to teach you how to do beekeeping and buy equipment or get inexpensive equipment, or you can read books such as The Beekeeping Handbook by Vivian Head and The New Complete Guide to Beekeeping by Roger A. Morse. These are 2 books that I have done, and they're really helpful. Or you could go online or and purchase bees from online, any of those things. And so that's a third thing that you can do to help bees. I got my information from Metro Beekeeping Conference from a conference that they did, and I also got it from 2 online sources from FAFARD and The Guardian, which are 2 online sources, both of which have told you how to do what flowers plant and why bees are helpful. Thank you.